Welcome to my channel. I go by the name WHOISTHEO. If this is your first time, thank you so much for stopping by. And if you're back, shout it what your name is. Let's kick this off proper, shall we?
Ooh, baby, please don't you be such a tease. If it's loving that you want from me, I got boo-boo.
So I want to thank y'all for stopping by my channel. In this video, we are boldly forging ahead into the fiery realm of Aries, the heavily aggressive, heavily spontaneous, heavily passionate sign and energy of the zodiac. This is a part of my astrology series, The Signs. Now, I just want to preface by saying by no means am I a registered therapist, a professional astrologist, or anything of the sort. I just want to share the knowledge that I've accumulated on my spiritual journey to try to help you on yours. Now, if you're brand new to astrology and you have no idea what I'm even talking about, you might want to check out my first video right here. I'll explain astrology loosely and then you can come back. Everything will make sense then, I promise. I'll go ahead and leave the link in the description box as well, okay? Now, I'm gonna steer clear as much as I possibly can of relating the signs and energies to people. It's done a bit much in my opinion, and it takes away from the grand scheme of things. Not to mention, it stifles our need to understand the natural complexities of ourselves and the world around us. The zodiac constellations or zodiac signs are energies that we as sovereign beings have the ability to tap into. We should be careful not to overly attach ourselves to any one sign, because in our birth chart, it's buku of them. I mean a lot. In astrology, we call these placements, which are mathematical degree points along the path in the sky as represented in our birth charts. Your chart represents 360 degrees of the sky, forming a complete circle, also known as the zodiac wheel, which is broken up into 12 30-degree segments, like a 12-piece sky pie. Each slice of the pie represents one of the 12 zodiac signs or houses of astrology. The planets of astrology travel or transit through these houses or signs and gives insight into different parts of our personality based on that planet's exact mathematical point at the exact time that we were born. With that said, if any planet in your chart is placed in the house or sign of Aries, this is the energy that you would be working with. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, the first house, the initiator. Now, I have to make a confession. I'm kind of doing this video under duress. Aries energy is so damn aggressive. So initially, I started out trying to do the signs in reverse, right? Starting with the last sign of Pisces and ending with the first, Aries. I thought about it, and it's two reasons this sign is skipped in the line. First reason, at the time I'm recording this video, it's actually smack dab right in the middle of Aries season, which means the sun has its current placement in the first house of Aries. So essentially, this is my solar return gift to you, you old pioneering spiritual. Second reason, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac for a reason. Very impatient. Basically, it's all about the me first and the gimmes for this fireball of energy. Keep it real, I don't want the smoke. We doing Aries. Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, also known as the god of war. This explains the Aries energy so much, as with this sign, it's always something to conquer. Anything, but whatever it is, it has to be done now, and it has to be done boldly. Aries is a cardinal fire sign, which means two things. The sign starts off a new season. In this case, Aries kicks off spring. Also, the element associated with Aries is fire. And what comes to mind when you think of fire? Fire's hot, fire's quick, fire's intense. And this explains Aries energy to a T. The star constellation symbol for Aries is a ram. In mythological times, many gods were depicted in correlation of some sort to a ram, typically the head of the ram. Now, every sign correlates to some area of our physical body. Aries represents the head because its archetype here on Earth, the ram, uses his head prominently in all matters of confrontation. I mean, literally, Rams fight each other by ramming, and that's where that term comes from, their heads into each other. I mean, how bold can you be? And for this reason, the Aries energy can be prone to incite many small and large acts of war, just for stimulation's sake. Aries represents the soul's urge to emerge at the onset of a journey, any journey. The excitement is childlike in nature, extremely impulsive. So while this energy is connected to God, the creator, the alpha, it's also connected to young, immature energy. I mean, Aries energy is ferocious when it comes to leading the pack. Leading comes natural to the sign for reasons previously stated, but the type of leadership employed through this sign centers more around the accumulation of power and the fulfillment that comes from asserting its natural drive and determination to guarantee a victory. It should be noted that while the Aryan energy is notorious for initiating things, it could care less about completing them. Aries doesn't care that it didn't get done. They were just here to set that off. The Aries energy represents self in all matters related to self and the ego. Very strong-willed and self-reliant, people who work with a lot of Aryan energy tend to have this lone wolf mentality. They're perfectly capable of doing a job alone. Unlike their counterparts in the sky, Libra, 6 signs away, who prefer social stimulation to solo anytime for the purpose of constantly seeking balance and harmony and order and all things. To put it quite frankly, Aries could care less. So I should explain something here. Every sign has its positive and negative characteristics, all right? Now, positive and negative, they're just opposites of one spectrum. Negative isn't necessarily detrimental or anything like that, because I mean, certain negative qualities certainly can serve in certain situations. But for the purposes of living a purpose-driven life, you want to look at the negative characteristics of any sign in your chart and then look to the sign 6 signs away from that one. Look to those positive characteristics, and you want to just be mindful and active about trying to bring that energy into your life however you can, if it's by having people around you that have those characteristics or whatever, to constantly reiterate to you that it would be beneficial for you to work with that energy. This is what we in astrology call polarity, which is essentially the relationship between two opposing signs imposing challenging aspects, but ultimately balancing one another out. Now, it sounds like I'm badgering the Aries energy, but I'm really not. Everything is necessary in this world, and without Aries energy, we wouldn't have the fearless heroes in society that take charge and get things done without question. New beginnings, new opportunities, new challenges, new adventures, everything new is Aries' stomping ground. This energy is about constant stimulation, so the people who work with Aryan energy can often be the ones proclaiming boredom. They thrive off of constantly starting something new. As I said before, Aries is a sign that's closely related to war. As a matter of fact, a lot of people may not know this, but we go through time periods called astrological ages that typically constitute about roughly 2,000 to about 2,150 years. And these time periods typically center around like a central idea. And that or those ideas would typically be tied to the energy of the sign that the age is in. The age of Aries lasted from about 2000 BC or before Christ to about 180, I guess. Nobody really agrees on these exact dates, just so you know, but it's the age we came out of before discovering Christianity. And in this age, war ruled the moral landscape. This age also saw the shift from polytheism, or belief in many gods, to that of monotheism, where people were influenced to believe in just one. And so the battle over the assertion of the one true God began. Remember Moses in the Bible? He was recruited by God to warn the Jewish people of the upcoming calamity and a effectively move them to the promised land where they would receive abundance for their faith in the one true God. That whole journey began with a fight between Moses and the Pharaoh. Aries is all about the power of one. And hopefully now you get it. Boy, what you say? I actually have 2 placements of Aries in my chart. My moon sign, which is basically how I receive information emotionally. Also, basically how I am when no one's around. Also, my Venus sign, which is basically talking about how I value things or things that I value. That could be love and relationships, money, materials, all that good stuff. So yeah, I love hard and I spend money impulsively. Anyway, that's all the time I'll take up for today. In my next video, I'll get back on track and start working the signs backwards, starting with Aquarius. If you have or know anyone else that has Aries energy in their chart, go ahead and comment below any characteristics I may have missed. Also, feel free to run your own astrology report so that you can find out all about the energy that you're working with. I've included some links in the description box below. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the videos. Hit that bell icon to get the notifications for whenever I show up again, okay? Also, head over to Instagram and follow me at @WHOISTHEO. I'll be so happy to meet you. As always, I want to encourage you guys to question everything. Knowledge is power. Arm yourself, okay? Thank you for your curiosity. Namaste.